What is going on, guys? Jay Craft here with the Facebook group all around Pickers Lounge, and I'm coming at you not live today. Firstly, yeah, I'm in a robe. I am taking personal time right now. Those of you who saw my last reseller roundup, you know I've been going through some stuff, and unfortunately, things have kind of piled up even more since then. So, but yeah, before we get into any of that, I wanted to talk with you about something that I posted into our group today regarding an eBay return. Let me get the message actually pulled up so that way we can talk about it together. And it's the craziest thing that's going on right now. Firstly, eBay, it's been a bit finicky lately. I think you guys know this. And I kind of want to shoot a little bit more of these off-the-cuff videos with you. And I'll tell you why. Because every now and then something comes along and I'll jot it down. I'll want to save it till Sunday, when the reality is I should probably stop everything I'm doing and just talk with you about it then. So I get this message today, and it says, respond to a return request. And this is a return request that I actually started working on, oh gosh, maybe 3 days ago, and it was for a 30 some odd dollar Tamagotchi. I know what some people are thinking, like $30, just write it off, but you know, for me, every dollar really matters. So I went ahead and responded to the customer, and long story short, with the issue is that the customer purchased a 15-year-old Tamagotchi from me, maybe, I don't know, maybe 10-year-old one. They bought the item, they got it delivered to them, they put in batteries, worked fine, used the item for about 25 days, and then the item randomly stopped working. It was just not doing what Tamagotchis are supposed to do. So the buyer opened a return request stating that the item was defective or non-working. And I went ahead and responded to them in kind and saying, hey, you know, we sold you a fully working item, but we do not offer warranties on our item. The eBay money-back guarantee should not be considered or perceived as being a warranty. So if we take a look at the eBay money-back guarantee, it states that there's 3 reasons why somebody can get a refund or a return authorized because of that. It says you don't receive an item, which is a given. Yeah, you don't get your item, get your money back. You receive an item that doesn't match the listing. Obviously, I'm cool with that one as well. And you receive an item that's broken or faulty. Now, the key thing here is you receive an item that is broken or faulty, as in the moment that you get it. Now, with eBay, the way that the terms of service are set up, if you sell a brand new item, the customer has the authority and right to open the item up, test it, plug in batteries, plug it into a wall. If it's a snow blower, they can go blow some snow with it. They can do whatever they need to do to make sure that the item works fully. And if the item doesn't work fully as stated on the box, they're eligible to return it back. And I don't care what the minuscule thing can be. If it's a light array of 1,000 LEDs and one LED doesn't work and they want to return it back for that, that's their right to do so. But this does not count the same as a warranty, and this is where some of the confusion comes in. So I call in, and as I've said before, I'm very fortunate to be one of the people that has eBay concierge, and I talk with them on the phone, and the first rep tells me, they're like, yeah, you're just going to have to take this back. And I said, no, I don't think I am. And here's why I actually called. The real reason I called, and the real reason we're talking today, is because of this very specific message that was posted up onto our group and sent to me via email this morning. It says, hi Jay, the buyer requested a return because there's something wrong with the item. Please accept the request and provide a return shipping label as soon as possible. Okay. And then below that, it says, if you don't resolve this request by the 13th of February, you may be required to issue a refund without the item being returned to you, which is the biggest double FU out there. Now, I was given instructions after that, 3 things that here's what you need to do. Okay, it's not here's what we suggest for you to do. Here is something you can do, or previously, historic email said, here are some options for you to choose from as far as how you would like to resolve this return. And I want to be very clear. My account has no returns on it. I sometimes will authorize returns during the holidays because of holiday shoppers, and you want to have the needs of the consumers in the forefront of your mind, but I don't have returns on my listings throughout the year. So it states, here's what you need to do. Number 1, accept the return. Okay. No, it says accept the return request. Let's get the verbiage right so I don't get persecuted. Number 2, click on purchase a return label or go directly to the carrier website to to obtain a label with tracking information. And then there's some information below that. And then it says, save the return shipping label as a PDF or image and upload it as well. Now, this is a whole bunch of malarkey, okay? I'm pretty fired up about this one because no one, especially eBay, should be telling me how to run my business. I think we've learned historically when other people meddle with your business, it can really screw things up. So I called eBay and I called concierge, and the first representative I talked to said, yeah, you're going to have to take this back. And I said, how? Why am I going to have to take this back? I don't offer warranties on my items. And she was trying to tell me that this fell under the buyer protection. I said, no, it doesn't. She said, I'm going to have to transfer you over to a return specialist. Please do. And when you speak with these people, those of you who don't know how concierge works, it's all Americans. It's all domestic customer service. And these are people who are dealing generally with accounts that are moving, $500,000 to several $1 million worth of volume each year. Now, my account doesn't do anything near that. I'll be lucky if I see six figures in a single amazing year, not doing anything else. Okay. But I was gifted this because of eBay Open 2019. So I talk with this senior support staff and I'm explaining my grievances, and she says, okay, I understand what you're saying. I've just gone ahead and closed it out in your favor. We're going to go ahead and refund this out to the buyer. You're not going to have to take any further action. Will that be everything? And I said, no, that won't be everything. We need to have a talk about this. I need to understand why I've been sent this email. She's like, no, this is, it's standard protocol. We send these emails out. This is how they happen. And I said, no. I've never seen this. I've been selling 15 years. I've never seen this specific email sent from eBay. And she says, what are you talking about? And she logs in. She's like, oh, that must be the new message that we're using, the new verbiage. And I said, the verbiage is the issue. I'm like, what if I was a brand new seller? What if I was somebody who just started and they saw this and they said, well, I have no choice. I'm being told that I need to accept the return. So we need to get a little bit of understanding. Are we being told how we need to do our business and how we need to do our returns, or are we being strongly suggested? Okay? Because if it's strongly suggested, it should say, here's what you should do, not here's what you need to do. Okay? Or here's what we would like you to do versus here's what you have to do. And verbiage is very, very important. A few words being taken out of context and a few things being misconstrued can burn the entire house down. Okay. So I spoke with her further. I said, why did the last representative inform me that I would need to accept this return? She said, who? I'm like, another member of concierge told me I would have to take this return back. She's like, oh, she might not understand, part of it has to do with the fact that it's global ship. I'm like, what part of it has to do with the fact that it's global ship? She said, well, because we go through a third-party courier, anything could happen after that. And eBay's terms of service state that once an item passes through a third-party courier, whether that's GSP or another land-based courier who does redelivery, once it passes through another set of hands, you can't be responsible for the item because somebody else has been hands-on with it. I'm like, okay, so you're making this very special exception for me right now. But what happens, and we had this long talk. This was a 20-minute long talk on concierge. Here, let me find out. It was recent. It was a 25-minute and 24-second call to concierge this morning for this one issue. I said, what happens if it was a domestic issue? What step would we have gone from there? And she said, well, if it's domestic, and they received the item and then the item wasn't working for them, then yes, you would have to take it back. And I'm like, well, here's the problem. I don't offer warranties, nor do I offer returns. So why is this? What has changed recently? What policy change has occurred? She's like, well, if the person has the item and they have it and they say it doesn't work, then you would have to take it back. But I'm like, but the person said that they had been using it. Okay. That it all of a sudden stopped working today. How is that not sufficient? She's like, well, if there's enough information there for us to tell that they've been using it for a long period of time, I'm like, well, we're 25 days in. And she's like, well, sometimes they might wait 25 days before they get around to using your item or opening it up for the first time. And I'm like, so we must have specific words from the seller to indicate that they have been using the item for a period of time, which is an undetermined period of time. Would you look at a garden hose going 3 days without a leak, would that be enough time? Okay. What is the level of expectation? This goes full circle back to David Sweetnam, and we talked about him doing Q&A, and he said that you can't judge, a jacket the same way that you judge a Ming vase. I'm just giving examples here, but you don't handle those two returns the same. And how do you get to a state within e-commerce where we can have specialists that look at individual categories and understand the nuances in them? I don't think we can. We can't do that. We can't judge and say, well, a Tamagotchi, you got to be able to use a Tamagotchi for 2 weeks to be able to tell if it's going to work. Says who? Isn't 24 hours good enough? Why should I have to warranty a 15-year-old toy for any longer than a day or 2 days or 3 days or 4 days? Where is the bar? If you buy something off eBay, if you buy an electronic toy, okay, let's say you even buy a cell phone, okay, and to the seller's best knowledge, the item is fully functional and free of defects. If it was a $30 item and it lasted you a month, okay, and on the 29th day it broke, would you feel warranted to get your money back? Now, you would want your money back. We all want our money back when something breaks, but would you feel justified in asking for your money back? Would the justification be different if you knew you were taking it from a human versus a business? Okay. How would you feel if the item wasn't a $30 toy, and what if it was a $1,000 cell phone and on day 29 it stopped working randomly? Now, clearly in both of these scenarios, it's not the fault of the seller. The seller has done nothing. He hasn't installed software on the device to make it fail after 29 days. He didn't resuscitate the item back to life just to get it to work long enough to get you to buy it and trick you into being satisfied with the item. There was no malice intent at all. Where do we draw the line on these items? And I talked with her some more and I said, I need to know for my own peace of mind, am I simply getting special treatment? Is it because I understand the terms of service or that I'm within concierge? How would somebody else get treated in this scenario? And that's why we stepped through everything. So this is the problem. Returns are getting very subjective. And it's a common trope within eBay, the ecosphere, to hear, when you do business on eBay, you have to take returns. And it's something that, I use that mocking tone because I've heard it so damn often. And, I've talked with Jane Miller about this within our group about how we get into a position where, if you don't know your rights on returns, yes, you'll take a large amount of returns. And I have fought so many returns over the last 2 years. Most people are good people, okay? And you can be reasonable with a lot of people. But if you do not understand the terms of service fully, you can get an email like this and you can get tricked into taking a return. It's a scary, scary thing. So I just wanted to talk with you about that. I felt really passionate about that. I want to talk with you guys about some other stuff too while I have you. Firstly, I'm not doing a show tonight, and I don't know if I'm going to do a show next week. And I don't know if I'm going to do a show the week after that or even the week after that. And I know I've kind of got a little bit of a smile on my face when I'm saying that. And please don't construe that as anything other than me kind of coming to terms with a lot of things. I've taken I've tried to take 2 personal days over the last 2 days. On Friday, day before yesterday, I went to the mountains and had a nice picnic. Had great company, and then did a little bit of shopping where I didn't actually buy anything, but I walked around and looked at some cool stuff and enjoyed the open air, and just had a really, really nice personal day. Unfortunately, the beast that is social media and some of the stuff that I've been dealing with over the last week, which some of you know about, some of you don't, had managed to creep its way in. And again, yesterday I went down to Fresno, took a personal day there with a good friend named Scott, played some disc golf. Actually, we met in Visalia, played some disc golf, did a little bit of thrifting, went to the mall, just kind of had a good time. A nice, good, cheap time. I want to give the patrons an update as far as what's going on because I am unsure when I will be starting the show back again, I will not be charging any of the patrons. So if you are a patron, you will not see a charge at the end of this month. We have suspended payments indefinitely for now until I know exactly what's going to be going on. But as far as this next payment, there will be no payment. I am going to be making some fundamental changes to how I not only produce content, but how I interact with everyone online. And it's very unfortunate, some of the changes that I will be making. We will no longer have a likes or dislikes on any of our live productions, and we will no longer have any comments on our live productions. And I know this sounds like a bit of a radical change, but the likes and dislikes thing, in my opinion, I feel like it really took away from the core essence of what we were doing. It didn't really add value. The whole purpose of it was to increase organic reach on YouTube. But believe it or not, there's other ways to do it without having to ask anyone for anything. So rather than asking for something, we're just going to spend a few dollars on marketing, and that's okay. We're in a position we can do that if we choose to continue moving forward with things. And then as far as the comments, what we're going to do is we're just going to move it to chat. Group chat. So if you are a patron group chat member and you'd like to talk to me during the show, then you'll be able to do that. And if you're not, then unfortunately we will not be seeing any comments. And I know this sounds like a shocker to you, and it's almost sounds like a pay-to-play type thing, but there's a lot of you, over 90% of you, who watch the content and never comment, and that's okay. I'm not asking you to, but it's going to allow us to really tighten things down a bit until we get everything sorted out. I know there's a lot of questions that a lot of people have regarding like some of the stuff that's going on within the group. We've made some fundamental changes. We no longer have an Instagram. We no longer have our second page, and we no longer have any admins operating within our community. We're downgrading a lot of things that are going on, and we've done changes to the fundamentals of the group as well. But these are all, in my opinion, positive steps to not only safeguard the brand, but also safeguard the learning experience for everyone who needs it. I hate that I even have to reiterate this again. And I kind of explained it to somebody this morning. My only way to become successful doing this, okay, and by successful, I mean probably talking somewhere in the area of $8,000 to $10,000 a month. It would allow me to have, $1,000 marketing budget, $1,000 to $2,000 research budget, and then extra money left over to obviously pay myself for the time that I put into this. But for me to get successful doing this, I need to help tens of thousands of people with their business. And I think that's where there's some confusion right now, is that, Jay stops and makes a video and he's going to become rich making a video. No, I have to help tens of thousands of people to be able to make it doing this here on YouTube. And the reality is that it would be infinitely easier just to continue and go do the swap meet on my own, which I'm going to be honest with you. There are potential plans that involve me never turning the camera on again. I've been dealing with some extreme levels of hate and slander and attempts to destroy me and my brand. I am genuinely worried about trusting another human being online ever again. So that's where I'm at right now with the internet. So for me, I have made the decision because I don't like drama, and I didn't sign up to do YouTube to be in high school. I have no interest in doing that. I signed up on YouTube to be able to help other people, share little tidbits of knowledge like we just did about the return. I have pages of notes written up about eBay and Starboard, and I really wanted to talk about that. But to be honest, I just don't feel like doing it right now. I just don't. And, I know this video started as a little bit of a training thing, and now we're getting onto a little tangent about me, but, I just don't care right now. I just truly don't. And I want to be here for those who want my help. That's why we have the community. That's why we have the chat. That's why I've always been accessible. And I want to continue to help good people who need help, who want help. But for the time being, my personal happiness and getting away from some of the villainization efforts that are being leveraged against me right now is going to be what's best for me and in my life. And then also focusing in on making good revenue for myself. So just returning back to very, very serious reselling, sourcing 5 days a week, sourcing 5 days a week, listing, pack and ship and everything like that. And then trying to find creative ways to take 1 to 2 days off each week until finances get to where they need to get to. I'm just simply not making enough money doing YouTube, especially with a lot of the recent negative actions that have occurred. It's really affected the future of the show and my future on YouTube, frankly speaking. So yeah, that's where we're at. If you have any questions, unfortunately, I'm not going to answer them, and I'm sorry. If you're within the community and you know what's going on, then so be it. And if not, then I'll tell you right now, I'll probably never talk about this on air again, just because from today forward, I don't care. I just don't. And we're gonna focus in on business. We're gonna focus in on everyone making money. We're gonna focus in on having a great time. And there's gonna be some shakeups. It's gonna be different, but I'm really excited to try and look forward. But to do that, I just have to close this last chapter of my life. And if we get there, great. And if not, it's been really fun. It's been fun, and yeah. Thanks. I'll talk with you guys here soon. You know how to find me if you need me. And remember, if you don't make that money, someone else will. And I'm going to tell you this right now, too. If I go back to reselling, that someone's going to be me. Have a great day, guys.